Yes, guys, I'm Si. Welcome to Ace Podcast Nation. This is the Cardiff City versus West Bromwich Albion preview. We won't be here for long, but we'll be here for a good time. And I got a new toy, which I've just set up, so you have to bear with me. But what's this? Oh, new cameras everywhere. Oh, look at that. And if I press that and it goes like that, and it's like, whoa, I might have some fun recording podcasts with that. It's going to be cameras everywhere, baby. But anyway, on to Cardiff City. We haven't got long, so let's make it a good time. A phenomenal result by Cardiff City on the weekend versus Preston. The type of result, those last-minute goals, as I said in my reaction video, these are the type of results which can change a season. So massive, massive result for Cardiff on the weekend versus Preston. But I think it's important they follow it up now and continue their good home form. Obviously, the last home game they lost to Norwich, which is a problem. Interestingly, West Brom are in a phenomenal way. Of all the results went our way on Sunday, except for the West Brom result. And they've won 4 of the last 5. They're right up there. But look, think you're positive. If Cardiff win, they go 1 point ahead of West Brom. It's going to be a very, very tricky game. West Brom are on fire, doing very well. Got some big players. The manager seems to have got them starting to pull in the same direction after a rocky start. And they got some really dangerous players. They play good football, very, very quick on the break. And that transition, if they win the ball off us in midfield, they transition really quick to Phillips, to Wallace, proven championship players. I really like Darren Garner, who plays in that number 10 behind normally Thomas Ashanti, but there's a couple of others like Major, Ajay off the bench as well on the weekend, I noticed. But they've got a solid defence, and of course, someone very, very interesting is, if he played for us last year, Cedric Kipri. We know what he's capable of on a good day, so we have to deal with him. It's going to be a rocky road for Cardiff in terms of we've got a few players out. We've got problems. Carlin Grant is out. Jamal Collins is out. Mark McGuinness is 50-50. There is problems in that lineup, so it's going to be a different back five. It's going to be different things. We'll discuss the keeper situation. We'll get into it all now in a minute, but obviously, Cardiff City are going to be invigorated by their last-minute victory on the weekend versus Preston. Victory against West Brom will leapfrog the Bluebirds above them in the top 6 race. The Bluebirds are still knocking around that playoffs, and Preston was a big result, big game, but the West Brom made a statement on Saturday. Make no mistake, I've said a few times, Ipswich are the best team I've seen play Cardiff this season. They're the best team I've seen in the Championship this season, full stop. And West Brom beat them 2-0. So do not underestimate West Brom. But West Bromwich Albion will also be aware Cardiff have got a very, very good home record, a very good lineup. But after at the previous international break, Cardiff only earned a point from their last couple of matches. So the pressure was on in the Preston game. But the manager got them playing. In terms of West Brom, they got some real good players, and it's going to be very difficult. And particularly, as I said, Grady Diangana is a baller, really, really clever player, and Daryl Furlong, the manager's a good manager as well, and they've got solid sort of back four, particularly the centre backs and the keeper. I got Alex Palmer in goals. You've got Kyle Bartley, Cedric Kipri. These are real good players, and it's going to be difficult. But I fancy Cardiff on their day to beat anyone at home. The problem being, we're still without Ramsey, we're still without O'Dowda, but now we've also lost some important players. Perry NG, as always, will be vital. Will it be a chance for someone like Ruben Corwell or Ollie Tanner to get a start? I would think so. They're going to have to do some moving about. In terms of the injury news for the opposition, West Brom have got Nathaniel Chalobah as a doubt for the trip. He's got a knee issue which came off against Ipswich. But the Albion bench on Saturday had a much healthier look. They had some players back after a few injuries. Swift, Josh Major back from injury, Adam Reach, Daryl Dyke are in the medical room for West Brom, with both likely not to be back till Christmas time. In terms of the West Brom lineup, I believe we'll probably see something like Palmer, Bartley, Kipri, Townsend, Furlong, Yokashulu, Malumbe, Phillips, Diane Garner, Jed Wallace, and Thomas Ashanti. Pretty similar to the weekend. But West Brom they are an interesting opposition. It's very, very. They're settled now. They play same sort of shape as us, 4-2-3-1, but they've got some ballers. Like, we need Siopis, so that hopefully there's no problems with him, because we're going to need a strong midfield. I actually would change the formation, but look, there's a few options for Cardiff. You could play NG left back and then play Romeo right back. I don't think that's outrageous. You could play Joe Rawls left back. You could play Panzo left back, or you could switch to a 3. I think, even though it hasn't been the most successful for Cardiff against West Brom, I can see tactically why Cardiff might switch to a back 3. So if you look at it, I would go with something like this. Number 1, I'd get Alnwick back in goal. I understand tactically why the manager said that he wanted to get the Runnison some game time. He also wanted to get Runnison pushed up into the defence to kind of keep the ball better away from home. I get that, and in some aspects it worked on the wall, but I also thought he was at fault for the goal. His distribution wasn't too clever. So for me, I think Alnwick needs to come back in. He hasn't put a foot wrong all season, been excellent. So I'd go Alnwick in goal. Then I'm going, if McGuinness is fit, I'm going Gutas, McGuinness, Panzo as a 3. I'm going Perry NG on the right. And I'm going Josh Bowler on the left as a left wing back. Or if they wanted to keep Josh Bowler on the right, you could switch and put NG left. That's fine. So I'd go the 5 or the 3. Then I'm having Siopis, Rawls, and Robinson as your sort of midfield trio, if you like. Robinson in the number 10. And then up front is the interesting one, isn't it? It's interesting. So actually, I think there's an argument that you could put Wintle in there as a 3, so Siopis, Rawls, and Wintle, and then play 2 up top with Robinson playing off Mate. But I actually think that might stunt Cardiff's creativity a little bit, because I think a lot of their creativity comes from the wide players and the number 10 position. So I think if you put Wintle in there, it almost makes us a bit too defensive. We all remember the 4-3-3s. It was, problematic. You've also got like the likes of Colwell could slot in there. So what you could do is you could go Siopis and Rawls and then go Colwell ahead of them and then play Robinson up front with Mate. That, I think, is what I would do, actually. So I would go Mate, Robinson up front. Maybe even Ugbo, Robinson, but we'll discuss that in a minute. Then I'd go Corwell, Siopis, Rawls, NG one side, Bowler the other side, and 3 at the back in Panzo, Gutas, and McGuinness. Now, if McGuinness doesn't pass his fitness test, then and you wanted to stick with the 3, I would go NG's got to move into the middle of the defence with Gutas and Panzo, and I can also see the benefit to that in terms tactically, because West Brom have got some very quick forward players, so having NG in there is not the worst thing. And then I'd put probably Tanner on the right, but he's got to work. He's got to work because he's got to do the defensive side as well. Just looking at some of the comments. Jaden said, what's your prediction for the lineup? Just said, Jaden said, I play Panzo, Gutas, and NG as a back three. Yeah, it does look like McGuinness probably won't make it, which is a blow. In terms of the keeper, Reese says, I think it was a poor choice when compared to Alnwick. Imagine having a 20-goal season striker, banging form, and you just drop him for someone who's not good. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, that's very true, mate. Jonathan Davis says, closing down the chance, positioning, distribution, and shot stopping has been shocking with Runason. Prefer Alnwick on everything. Yeah, the only thing which I think Runason, I think what the manager was probably aiming for is Runason push right up in between the centre backs to become like a third centre back. But because he was so far back, so far forward, when McGuinness lost the ball, he was so running. He had to run so far. He was rushing. He went too far past his near post, and he left an open goal, which created a massive issue. And it was a very, very easy goal. You know, McGuinness has lost the ball, but I thought Runason was actually the one who caused the problem for the goal. West Brom player to watch for me is there's two really, like Yok Yaluslu in the centre midfield is a really good player, but I'm going to go with Diane Garner as a top player, and he's already doing bits for West Brom this season, and I expect him to be a real handful. And then he's physically very good as well. He's big boy, Grady, Diane Garner, and I expect that's why I'd actually, with the formation change, it allows you to play Robinson sort of up with Mate or Ugbo and play him off, but also you get Colwell's size in the midfield area, so I think it can kind of benefit both. Let's just have a look at Diane Garner and his stats so far this season. You know, he's a young lad, so he's 25. I think there's something to be said for, he's maturing into a really good player. And when you look at, he's played a lot of football this year. He's been involved in all their wins. He's bagged 3 goals, 2 assists. He averages at least a shot or 2 on goal. Shots on target are pretty high. He has a lot of touches. And I think getting someone like Ruben Corwell, or even Ruben Corwell and Robinson around him, stopping him getting on the ball, stopping him from having easy touches, is going to play a big part in how Cardiff City go about their business. Maybe I'm overthinking it, and the change in formation is probably a bit complicated, and maybe they just go NG on the left, Romeo on the right, let's play. But Grant is out, so I think if you're going to keep the same formation that we normally play with, I think Bolo's probably going to go to the left, or Robinson. Yeah, if it was me and he wanted to stay with the same formation, I'd probably move Robinson out to the left, Colwell in 10, Bowler on the right, Mate through the middle, Siopis, Rawls, and NG and Romeo as your fullbacks. But there's a few different options for the fullbacks and the wingers. It's really interesting though, because this is going to be a very difficult game. The manager set high standards now. He set high standards for the fans, for the team. So it's very interesting how we go about this, because West Brom are banging form. They're very, very good. And it's going to be really interesting to see how Cardiff cope with that. Like, there was a game. What was the game where Cardiff got booed off? That is absurd to me that Cardiff City got booed off in the season they're having. I'm so excited by the January window for the first time in a very long time, because I think if Cardiff get it right, they can really kick on. So we will see. We'll see how Cardiff go about their business. Cardiff player to watch, Robinson. Callum Robinson is the man to watch for me. He's been banging form, scored a few goals, doing very, very well. Yeah, Reese says there, I think wonder if Arsenal are saying he needs to play more, they'll recall him. I don't imagine why Arnold could have been dropped otherwise. Yeah, I think there's probably a bit of that going round, not just for Runnison, but also for Panzo. You know, you're going to loan players out. You want them to play. It's just unfortunate that unfortunate for him that Anwick is like smack bang in form. You just can't do nothing about that at the moment. It's just one of those things. But really kind of excited for tomorrow's game because I think it's going to be a real test for Cardiff. And so far this season, every time Cardiff have been put up to a test against circumstance or referees or good times, generally speaking, they've really stepped up and done a good job. But make no mistake, I think you could argue that this is the hardest game of the season so far, just because of the form that West Brom are in. They are like bang at it, and it's going to be fascinating to see. My man to watch for Cardiff, as I mentioned, is Robinson. But look, it could be Perry NG again, like last time, because Perry NG is colossal. Like the quality that he brings is unreal. We missed him against Norwich. He comes back in against Preston, and he is almost like the perfect game, defensively, offensively. It's a real pleasure to watch him at the moment. And if I was Burnley, I would be asking Cardiff City the question, how much do you want for him? Because I think he suits the way they play. He suits the way they play if they want to be a bit more compact and more defensive, but he also would suit the way they want to play if he wants to kick on a little bit. Either way, he suits the way they want to go about their business. Perry NG is one of those. Just a little reminder, guys, there is a few tickets left for Darren Purse Evening with Darren Purse on Friday, only £5 a ticket. So please do come on down, say hello, ask him some questions. Obviously, he's the current under-23s manager, which means there's questions relating to that you could ask. Obviously, he's former captain. It's going to be a great night, I've got to say. I'm really excited by it. And also, we're making an announcement Wednesday now. It's Cardiff City Fan Show, live from the Rummer Tavern. Come on down and see us at the Rummer Tavern. Come and have your say on the West Brom game. But also, we'll be joined by not one, but two ex-Cardiff City players. I'll tell you who one of them is. One of them is Darren Purse. He's joining us at the end of the show just to kind of look forward to Friday. And to start of the show, we'll be announcing a 15th of December event featuring this person. And it's going to be a monumental evening. It's just one of those things. I tell you what, it's going to be like when I look over the hill towards the 15th, it's going to be a monster way to finish the season. Absolute monster way to finish the season. It's going to be a great night, and there's some special VIP tickets available for that event as well. So join us Wednesday, where the guest will join us to make the announcement. We will discuss in depth the West Brom game, as well as anything else which is going on in the Cardiff City world. If you're in the area, come down to the Rummer Tavern Wednesday night, have your say, and join us for the frivolity and the celebrations. Just a quick one tonight, just talking about the West Brom game. I'll give you a minute or two just to ask any questions. But in the meantime, the link to the Darren Purse tickets are down below. Please do, get involved, come join us. £5, absolute steal. And what a great night. Like the one with Andy Campbell was phenomenal. And it's going to be even better when we start this. We got Darren Purse Friday. We got the 15th, which is going to be a monster evening. And then it's, Christmas, New Year. And then we got some belters next year, like some City legends, some proper old school legends, some more recent ones. And I've got a real treat from the current setup coming up in January with a bit of luck. So all aboard the bullet train is what I say, mates. As always, appreciate you. Appreciate your support. Appreciate everything. Hope to see you on Wednesday for the fan show. Don't see you then I hope to see you on Friday for an evening with Darren Purse. Spread the word, share the ticket link, share the preview shows, everything. Just spread the word about the channel, because Ace Podcast Nation is doing bits for Cardiff City and football. Don't forget Roger Giggs on Football Thursday as well. Good night.